Cuba is a Caribbean island nation full of natural resources and beautiful beaches with clear sand and rolling plains. Located near the Gulf of Mexico, it is known for its strong culture, vintage cars, and historical streets. Cuba's climate is tropical and moderated by trade winds. Its population is at about 1 million people, with one of the highest human development rankings recorded by the United Nations, meaning that their literacy rates are towering. 71% of Cuba's people are 15 to 54 years old, a relatively young populace, with the official language of the country being Spanish.
Cuba's strengths lie in its health and education systems. Not only does our healthcare system provide free healthcare for all of our citizens, we also have one of the best doctor-to-patient ratios in the world, that is, one doctor for every 200 citizens. Our education system has programs in place that help students become doctors and physicians for absolutely zero cost. Our economic strengths can also be seen through our GDP, which was $128.5 billion in 2014. Finally, the gross national saving was 21.3% of the GDP last year, which is a significantly high number as it shows that our people have the money that is required to spend and invest. There are a few areas of improvement for Cuba. Its former communist leader, Fidel Castro, left much of the population divided between wealthy and poor as the communist regime left the country and its economy in shambles. There was lack of economic growth, and corruption and poverty were some of the problems. However, actions are now being taken to make a new start. There have been improvements made in the tourism facilities, and small-scale businesses have now begun to emerge, which has resulted in great economic progress. In addition, internet and telephone services have now become much more widespread and reliable throughout the whole country.
Cuba's main international trade partners are as follows. In terms of imports, Venezuela is Cuba's main partner, and in terms of exports, the EU is the prime consumer of Cuba's goods, which include petroleum, timber, salt, cobalt, iron ore, copper, manganese, nickel, and many others, which greatly contribute to Cuba's growing economy. Cuba's government plays a large role in international business, especially that of Canada's. Cuba's low agricultural productivity and weak production chains make the country highly dependent, importing about 80% of its domestic food requirements. Cubans have a great sense of humor, and most of the time their jokes are related to the political and social situation of their country. Although this is common, it should be avoided to bring it up as a visitor from another country. Since Cuba is not a democratic country, the citizens do not have as much freedom of expressions as Canadians do, which is something that should always be put into consideration. Cubans don't mind having smaller personal spaces than in Canada, and it is very common for them to show public displays of affection, as well as touching, such as putting a hand on one's shoulder or back, which should not come as a surprise. Cubans are very friendly and open with their personal lives, including things that would be considered personal in Canada.
Cuba has a literacy rate of 99.8%, which is a huge positive factor. The workers can read and write, which enables them to perform much more sophisticated and complex tasks as compared to less literate workers that may be available elsewhere. Cuba has another competitive advantage in growing sugar due to the favorable climate of the crop. Cuba also has great health services, which would make employees in this country less likely to miss work due to illness or general health problems. Another advantage that Cuba has is its easy access to sea transport, which other landlocked countries do not have. Furthermore, it has a low proximity to Canada, as compared to other countries in Europe or Asia, for instance. Cuba is clearly a dynamic and growing country that has a strong competitive advantage.
The previously mentioned facts, along with Cuba's immense potential, excellent workforce, as well as its growing and inviting business environment, mean that Cuba is the best country to start and do a business in, and should be the choice of country for the William Lyon Mackenzie Industries.